Hello everyone, welcome to PHTV, Channel 4 in Palos Heights. I'm Sue Jankowski and I'm here with my good friend and partner here, Carol Steffen, and we are with our new program, Come Alive in Palos Heights. And we're doing another segment of that, and it's been really such great fun for us because we get to see each other and we get to have a little chat as we talk about things in time.
I'll catch up then.
So I'm going to start today, and some of the things we talked about last time, I'm going to kind of go over again. And so I'm going to mention the economic development, which is still ongoing and always, will be, because the city is always working on a comprehensive plan, and it's always being updated as to going forward in things in the city. So as of right now, where Radio Shack is, and we talked about, what a great place that Radio Shack spot would be.
Yeah.
Location is great. Well, a cellular phone company has signed a long-term lease for this Radio Shack location, and this has been in the works for quite a long time. And actually, with the coming of this cellular phone company, there will be some major facade improvements. And when we think about, some of the buildings have been here but a long time, 20, 30 or more years. And there are actually design guidelines for facade buildings. So there's be something, I think actually will look very nice on that corner. And
so complete the whole building then, go down to the paint store
I think it will go down, yes, to Sherwin-Williams.
Okay.
So that'll be a nice look if you're over there at the paint store. And now there'll be a new cellular company for you to be involved with, or maybe it is your cellular company, and that will be, you'll become aware of that very soon. Also at the Southwick Commons, which is right across the street, it's kind of got the ends of Giuliani's on one side and Jimmy John's on the other. There's going to be probably a prospective, we have a prospective retail food tenant. That tenant has submitted plans for that 1,500 square foot area. They're doing the permits and the build outs and so forth, and that'll be coming maybe as early as February, and we can announce the name of that tenant at that time.
Okay.
Also, the Jewel Osco vacant outlet. So when you're passing by Jewel and you see that big grassy area that actually looks really nice, it looks like a little green space, we should make a little park out of it. Actually, it is one of the outlots there, and it is, they've been talking to a prospective developer and a proposed retail food building to be structured on that vacant lot. So it faces Harlem. It's right in that parking area. You probably park near there sometimes, and so that's
Is
good.
it in the front of the Jewel?
It's
so
it would be
on
the east side of Harlem. So you're on.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
You're at 127th and Harlem.
Okay.
And that is a really good sized lot. It looks really like a big spot.
Okay. I'll have to look. I'm there constantly.
Right next to Pops, kind of. There's a dentist office there, and then there's Pops.
Okay, I'm
and then
on the wrong
there's
side. Got it. Okay.
that big place there.
Got it.
So if you're kind of wondering, well, what's going on with that? There is things going on. There's always talking going on, and there's always like prospective people going on. The other thing I want to mention is last time we talked a lot about the Palos Senior Housing, which we know is Spectrum, but it is our Palos Senior Housing and how that's going there. So just to refresh your memory, this is supposed to open in fall of 2019, and it has 178 living units. It's right at the corner of College Drive and Harlem. Now, we were just talking, not everybody in town goes down that way, because unless you're on the way north or east, you may not actually go that direction, and you may not have seen the building. Well, fortunately, we're taking some pictures of it, so you're going to be able to see like the progress of what's going on there, and that's actually current. Actually, we're doing it, right now, today. What does this have? It has 178 living units, a library, beauty salons, dining rooms. There's 99 units of independent living, 55 units of assisted living, and 24 units of memory care. So it's a rather large facility there, and it has been, coming along. They will be doing some things coming up. For example, they will work on the interior finishes in the spring, and they're doing the masonry work in the spring as well. You know, now that winter has set in, some of these outdoor things are a little bit more difficult to do. So they'll really be working more on it. It looks like, to me right now, it doesn't look like a whole lot is going on over there. I don't know if you've
Well, the
noticed.
garages are in now, which is kind of new to see. So that's kind of interesting. There's like 8 garages as you head east
Okay.
on Route 83.
See, I don't think I've even seen that.
Yeah.
You know, I try and go down there every once in a while and give it a little peek. So the garages are in. That's good. Unit reservations will begin in the spring of 2019. And actually, you can still call and see if there, you know, what's available if you're interested. Maybe you just want to find out more about it, and you can call 708-247-5501 and find out some more information. Maybe you or some family member or that you know, or someone, you know, an extended family member is interested in finding out about that.
So can I just ask you one
Yeah.
thing? I know at one time, and I don't know if it's still available, that that the company that's doing this was going to offer, when they get more complete, bus trips to Libertyville, where this model is already in action. So what we have here is to be a replica of what's going on
Right.
in Libertyville. So you
Right.
can take a look at it and see what it looks like in real life. You know, make a decision whether, and go into the rooms and take an example of what's going to be here.
Which would actually really be great if you
It
were
is a
really
neat,
undecided
yeah.
about it, and you could go up there, especially if they're willing to provide, excuse me, the transportation. It'd be nice to go on up there.
It would be
and take
if
a
they
check.
still are thinking of doing that. I know at one time they talked about it.
There is also a vacant outlot on the corner of College Drive in Harlem. It's on the northeast corner of the lot. Now that is going to be used, it's right now construction staging, but later on it will be a site for prospective commercial retail. It's too soon to do it now. I think maybe they have some ideas about, you know, what would be good, but right now it's just used for the construction staging. So there will be another structure there at some point. The other thing we want to mention too is, and actually this kind of coincides in a little bit about some of the things Carol is going to bring up, and that is city events. And this time of year, I think by about February, people are starting to get a little restless about, you know, what can I do, or what can I participate in locally in town. Just want you to think about a couple of things. All these things need volunteers. Car Classic, Independence Day celebration, the parade. I mean, Carol, you were the
kickoff person.
You were the one who started that fabulous parade we now have down Harlem Avenue. It doesn't happen without volunteers. The half marathon, the beautification committee needs volunteers. Actually, Channel 4 always needs volunteers too. So if you want to become a volunteer, call Ken at 708-480-3022 just to find out about, you know, what your opportunities are to volunteer in town. And that's a nice way to meet other people who are working, you know, for the same thing. So that's a good thing. So also, speaking of volunteering, I'm just going that one step further to the Cook County Forest Preserve. And we have the Little Red Schoolhouse so close. There's all kinds of different places you can go within the Cook County Forest Preserve.
And that's so beautifully renovated now.
Oh my gosh, it is.
Do they know where it is, 104th? Or take 83 to 104th, take a right, and you're there.
And there it is.
Yeah.
It's kind of nestled in there. So as you're driving down 104th, you can, if you're heading north, it's on your left-hand side. You can almost kind of miss it, but there is a sign with a little raccoon out there. And that structure, you know, you used to go to the Little Red Schoolhouse, actually was just the Little Red Schoolhouse. And now it's a great big building that's really fabulous. I mean, it's great for kids and adults alike. And there's a lot of volunteer opportunities there, or just go and have fun. And I just want to mention that, you know, they can't do some of this stuff without volunteers. And again, February, March, you might think, oh, there would be no volunteer opportunities somewhere like the Forest Preserve because it's winter. No, that's not true. You can go and you can volunteer for all sorts of things there, and you can just call them or stop by and say, I'd like to be a volunteer. You can go on their website, just go to Cook County Forest Preserves and look up the Little Red Schoolhouse, and that will tell you things. But there was a couple things, Carol, I just looked at some of this stuff and I thought, now this is just a fun things. It's not a volunteer, well, I'm going to tell you one volunteer thing that I thought was kind of cute, and some other things that you can just attend. There's a whole list of them. So this is really just a small amount of what you could do there. But one is the Calling Frog Survey, if you wanted to participate in that. So it's a citizen science program based at the Chicago Academy of Sciences. It trains volunteers, you would be trained, to identify 13 species of Illinois frogs by call and sight. You work with program coordinators. There's 3 rounds that you can go to. It's observation. I know it sounds kind of maybe like just so specific, but it gets you outside. It gets you learning something new. Maybe you want to do it in tandem with your kids or your grandkids, or I don't know, you and your spouse want to go out and
you meet some new
hunt
friends.
for frogs.
The frogs, bring them home.
I just thought it was so
watch them hop around a little
exactly.
bit.
You know,
very entertaining.
You find
in the
Kermit
backyard
out there somewhere. It's kind of fun to do. The other thing is, and this was just interesting to me because it was the RIP work day. I'm like, oh dear, what is that?
Yeah.
Well, actually, it is removing our invasive plants, removing invasive plants. And they need people to go out there and remove plants that really aren't indigenous to the area and get rid of those, because they kind of can swallow up the plants you do want that are indigenous to the area that we're trying to keep there.
And where would that be done?
That would be done
learn
right at
to
the Little
identify
Red Schoolhouse.
indigenous. Oh,
You would, yeah.
Okay. You could take that, learn those stuff, and bring it back to Lake Catherine, and certainly volunteer there and do the very same thing. Or
Exactly.
come to my backyard and
Do it there.
those little devils.
That's right. Yeah, but I mean, you can.
Yeah.
And that's
Take
a
that
nice
knowledge
thing.
and
Take it
yeah.
to Lake Catherine
Sure.
and say, hey,
Absolutely.
I can identify these things, and
Absolutely.
they have that problem too, I'm sure. So that would be a really good thing to do. And you got to contact them and sign up for these things, and then show up and do it. The last thing I wanted to mention, because there's all kinds of things for all ages, and that is a Sweetheart Night Hike. So you go for a little bite to eat, have a short trail walk, sit by a campfire, roast marshmallows, and enjoy the exhibits outside. And it is for ages 21 and up. So
This is still at the Red Schoolhouse.
it is at the Little Red Schoolhouse.
Okay.
So you can go there, have a little fun night hike, and have a forest preserve fire. No forest fires, please. And just sit there and just do something different. I mean, I think sometimes we're just looking for another avenue to maybe be outside, and they're telling us all the time we need to connect with nature more. Here are some opportunities to do that outside Palos Heights, but not too far. It's not too far at all.
No, it isn't.
So, Carol, I'm just encouraging people to look at their schedule. Everybody's so busy, but maybe there's some ways you can volunteer within the city and outside the city for things that are helpful to the surrounding area.
Those are neat suggestions,
Yeah,
and something
that'd be fun.
I wouldn't have thought of. Well, take your newfound identifying frogs, come back to your house
I
and
have
sit
them there
down
too.
and pick up the best book ever printed. I love this. It's a mass mailing. You received it in your home.
Mm-hmm.
If you threw it away, you can pick up another one at the library. You can pick up one here at City Hall, and certainly at the Park Record Department. It is chocked full of fabulous, fabulous information, of which I'm going to go over some of it now. But basically, it's called the Playbook Winter Spring 2019. And there'll be another one in the summer and fall, which will be the same things. It's just so fantastically full of information. It's just a fount of information. Let's go through it a little bit. In the beginning, it tells you all sorts of information about what park recreation. First of all, do you know where the park recreation is? If you haven't passed it or you haven't been involved in it, it's a wonderful entity. It's relatively new, within the 2 years. I think about 2 years with all. The original building was there, was a school so many years ago that my own kids had gone there at one time. But anyway, it's at 6601 West 127th Street. It's kind of between where the Jewel is and the Dominick's used to be. So it's right in there and on the north side of the street. They have a website at www.palosheightsrec.org. It's a really nice website. It's kind of an overview of what they offer there. But in this fantastic book, they have all sorts of listings of, first of all, the people that will work with you and the people that put the whole thing together, the Park Recreation Committee, Recreation Advisory Board. There's names and numbers that you can contact and ask questions. But it's just so fun. All the different family and special events that they offer. They'll tell you about the birthday parties. They have pictures. You can go and register, get involved in it. But they appeal to everyone. They have preschool activities. They also have a preschool and after school. You can drop off your child early and pick them and let them be there after school for a while. They have a program dealing with that. They have early childhood programs, they have dance programs, they have youth programs, athletic programs, teen programs. There's not an age level that they don't reach, including seniors, which of course would be with me. There wonderful information about the classes, descriptions and times held. There's programs for adults. There's adult trips listed. They go out on trips and go to restaurants. There's so many things offered here in Palos Heights. If you're not interested in going outside or doing what Sue suggested, or doing both, there's no reason why you can't do both.
Do it all.
This is such a fount of information. Just sit down sometime and go through it. I went through it last night and was amazed at some of the things that I didn't know that they included in here. It's just good information. Tells you about membership. You can join the Palos Heights Recreation Department. There's membership. There's different categories. If you're a senior, you get a discount. If you're a resident, you get a discount. It's all listed in here. It's very affordable. Now, that's all the programs that they have. Then you're going to get into the fitness center. And the fitness center is fabulous. It's a beautiful, full-size court gym on the first floor that they net off, that they'll play different games. You can play full court basketball, they'll set it up for badminton, they'll set it up for the very, very popular pickleball program that they have. So you're overlooking that. You could take an elevator up or take stairs up to the second floor, which is the fitness center. They have wonderful instruction up on that second floor. They'll take you as an individual, they'll take you around, teach you how to use all the fitness equipment, monitor you, and also up there is a walking track. It's a 1/12 of a mile walking track, so you can walk around, obviously 12 times to come up with your mile. There's such help and support up there. It's just an amazing thing.
Well, and the walking track too does not cost Palos Heights residents any money.
That's
so
exactly
the
a
fitness
good
center
point.
part you have to pay for. The walking track you don't have to pay for. And you know, there's so many people that enjoy walking or a little jog, but now it's, you know, the weather is a little inclement and you hate to be outside. Well, it's open early and late. You can go there for free and just do your walk, get your exercise.
And you can't take there is an elevator up going to that second floor, so if the stairs are a problem with you, there's an alternative. So there's no reason not to go up there. They are so helpful, they're so informative as far as how to do the machines. They will stand there, they will teach you, they will help you. It's just an amazing setup. They've put together a wonderful program with very, very excellent help and administrative help also. Now, that's this side of the book, and that's going to tell you all about the park recreation and things that we just talked about. You're going to take this book and flip it on over, and this is all about the city. And this is, again, another booklet full of fabulous information. There's pictures of your representatives, of your aldermen. Palos Heights is divided into 4 wards, and if you don't know what number ward you're in, try to find out, because it's very, very important, because we have an election coming up in April that you'll be voting for an alderman for your ward. But there's 4 wards, basically, and so the picture of your alderman, there's a picture of Mayor Strauss and the whole grouping. More important is that they have City Hall staff, they have the name of the staff, they have the phone numbers of where to reach them, Building and Zoning Department, Public Works Department, Police Department, all in one page. All this fantastic information. Tell you when the City Council meetings meet, and it's the first and third Tuesday, I think, of every month.
That's right. Yep.
And you're more than welcome. It's open, and Channel 4 televises them. There's also a current, every single time this is published, a letter from the mayor updating on what's going on in Palos Heights, and that's very, very informative. As you go on, there's city services listed, there's department updates. This is all full of information. If you have a question, you don't have to make 14 phone calls. Have this book handy and look at it and say, oh, I really need something about voter registration. How am I going to do that? What's the best way to do that? What's the shortest thing? You go on, and there's community development, community development, talking about this new addition to senior residents. There's a nice article about Channel 4, municipal vehicle, about PACE. You know, there's, I think it's $2 for one way on PACE within an area. You have to be within an area. And you can call the number, which is listed here. There's $2 for one-way trip, $4 for a round trip. This is all this is information. It just blows my mind that this is here. Dates and information about the farmers market. We do have a farmers market in the winter, and that is, it talked about Adopt a Plant, about the Business and Health Expo. It's just an amazing, amazing piece of information. And then it keeps going and talks and gives you very, very good information about our fabulous Palos Heights Library, and we have one of the best. And it gives you the things, the offerings that they have here. That I know Sue deals with that in library information all the time. But here it is in print. Pick it up and gives you what's going on and how to read. And then, of course, my very, very favorite is Lake Catherine. Lake Catherine is a wonderful asset here in Palos Heights. They have natures. It's a nature center. You can walk. There's a trail there. There's a bicycle path right that goes through Lake Catherine that you can more than welcome to use. There's so much that they do, homeschool programs. You can have an event. You can rent a space outside or inside at Lake Catherine for an event or a wedding. There's just wonderful things. And then the next thing that's coming up at Lake Catherine is their Winterfest. And that's going to be on Saturday, February 2nd. It's from noon to 4. You probably have seen some signs up in town, you know, celebrating that the Winterfest is coming. And maybe we'll even have snow on February 2nd.
Well,
on that one day anyway.
That makes it fun. But, you know, that Winterfest is very well attended. And it is something to do in the middle of winter. And fun. There's live animals, hay rides, children's crafts, face painting, snowshoeing. If we have snow,
Yep.
you know, it's really fun, and it doesn't cost too much, and that money goes to supporting Lake Catherine, and it's supporting what they have there for that day. So that's February 2nd.
And Lake Catherine has things all year round. They have programs all year round. In fact, there's a yoga class that's offered there that's very, very popular. You know what? You don't have to remember one thing we've said here today. Rather, nothing, no personal to Sue, no personal to me. Go and pick up this book. The book is available in the City Hall. It looks like this on this side, and it's park. You can pick it up. Park Recreation probably has the most of them available to you, but you can pick them up. If you've filled it out, no problem. Go and pick up another one. It is a mass mailing. You probably received it, and if you're not interested in this stuff, put it aside. But there's so much more information in here with not park recreation. It's just everyday things that you could use. If you're not interested in Red Schoolhouse, you can come and check out what's going on here in Palos Heights. It's just a book to hang on to. This in the Bible is in my
Well, you know, I think sometimes too we get these things in the mail and we're like, oh, it's the Park District book.
Yeah.
If I don't have like
Right.
little kids signing up for something like that, I don't really need this book. And Carol makes a great point. It's, first of all, multi-aged. Every age has something available for them to do, and number one. Number two, it is that tremendous valued resource of phone numbers and events and
in one place.
It's all there. So try to hang on to that. I just want to point out too, Carol, that last time we got together, I did talk about the lovely artwork we have in our city,
Yes.
and that you could pick up a little brochure and know where to go and look at these sculptures. Well, it is right in that book,
Yes.
which I didn't realize at the time either. So if you think, oh, I wonder where that particular sculpture is that I've seen before and I want to look at again, or I want to take that little tour, you don't even have to get that brochure. You can just look in your little park handbook here.
It's just so full of information. You're flipping over a page of the consolidated election, which is
Exactly.
April 2nd.
Yeah.
And again, I mentioned before, your ward, we have 4 wards here in Palos Heights. Find out who your alderman or woman is. One of them will be up for election this time. And it's important. It's important that you have a good representative that living in your area. Get to know them. Come to the council meetings. I wish more people would attend the council meetings and make a point to find out what's going into your city. Find out about it.
Also, I want to point out that they do need election judges and equipment managers, and if you want to do that, right in this handbook, at the bottom of that consolidated election box, it tells you, page 8, you can become an election judge, and you go to electionjudge@cookcounty.gov or just call a phone number that's in here. I don't know that I even really need to say it, but I will. It's 312-603-0965. and you can become an election judge. A lot of people, do that, and they need a lot of judges. So that's another thing.
Position.
Yeah, it is paid.
It's well paid.
It's not even voluntary, but for the day, you're pretty well paid.
It's a well-paid position.
So it's something
Yep.
you could, get involved in too. So I do want to point that out. The other thing, I talked about the master plan for the park on 124th Street last time. Well, that map is right in there. So you can look and see, what are they going to do at that park? It's right there.
And talk about new facilities. We have new tennis courts and new pickleball will be offered over in the two the parks that are on one right down from the firehouse and the one over behind the police station. So that's really cool to look forward to this spring and summer.
It really is. So this is great. The other thing I want to mention, Carol, is you did mention that you can find out a lot of information about different departments within the city. I just want to talk about snow removal right now because we're on the cusp of that happening. And I think sometimes we look out, I look out and I'm like, oh, there goes another truck, and oh, there's another truck. Well, there are 55 miles of roads throughout the city, and the snowplow fleet is 6 dump trucks with plows, salt spreaders, and 6 pickup trucks with plows. So we have a really nice fleet of vehicles that go to work so our streets are clean, and our streets are really great.
Yeah, they're really good.
So they start first salting all the streets and the cul-de-sac. Then, if it's over 2 inches, the crews will give first priority to main streets, then the secondary streets, then the cul-de-sacs, secondary streets and cul-de-sacs, not left out cul-de-sac people. And they will plow and salt until the snowfall stops. And the roads have been plowed and salted. So that's wonderful that they are out there working for us. There is no parking on city streets after 2 inches of snowfall, just a reminder. If your car is parked, it makes it really hard for them to clean the streets properly. If you know snowfall is anticipated, please move your vehicles off of the street, and don't put your garbage cans right into the street, and please don't push all your snow onto the street. I know it's hard because you have to get your snow off to the side, but they're asking that you not do that. And it will push it right back into your driveway. And then I don't know if you've noticed, but it's really hard to shovel that snow that's been re-put back in your driveway again. I have a hard time with that. And be patient with all the plowing that's going on. They're doing their best to make the streets safe for us. And I just wanted to mention that it's all in here if you want to read what you should do or the restrictions or what the fleet is compromised of. But every single alderman has their area that they are responsible for, and that's all delineated right here in this book as well. If you're thinking, well, who does the parks or who does the water? It's right there too.
It's a fount of information. I'm just so crazy about this book.
It's a great book.
Every time it's reissued, I said, oh, thank you. Because it's just in one place. Everything's in one place.
Well, it's pretty thin too. Remember all those huge pages, yellow pages you used to get, and all the phone books and stuff?
Sure.
So this is just one little book that you have to keep, or I guess you can go on your computer too, but
it's
this
not as fun. This is pretty.
So
it's well
easy.
done.
Well, and it's nice to peruse through and think, this group is going out for lunch, or here's a yoga group, or Tai Chi, or my child wants to play basketball, or whatever it is. It's really kind of sparks some ideas for you too.
Well, it's a nice compliment to our city, and it's a nice compliment to the park recreation people who put this together and the city people who contribute to this. It's just such a piece of important information and helpful information.
It is. So keep that book. Well, Carol, I think that brings us to the end of what we're, imparting our
wisdom.
Our wisdom.
I'm getting so old. I'm imparting wisdom now. Oh boy!
But thanks for watching us, and we'll see you next time on Come Alive. Thanks.
Thank you. It's always fun to be with you to talk
really
about
is.
what's going on.
It is so fun. And thanks for watching. Bye bye.